You know my friend.
Are you sure you brought out all the invitations?
Yes.
And the singing telegram for the beautiful Annabelle Lee?
Mm-hmm.
And the RSVP to her RSVP?
She said she'd be here.
What is that rapping at my chamber door?
Okay, first of all, not a rapping, that's a doorbell. Second of all, you invited these people here.
Welcome, friend, to Edgar Allan Poe's murder mystery, invite-only casual dinner party / gala for friends. This is my manservant, Lenore.
Look like you got yourself some ghost infestation, friend. Looky here, I brought a switchblade so we can steal a white boar in the backyard, then roast them over an open flame. Only an open flame.
I don't think we have a permit for that.
Ah, Louisa May Alcott. Glad to see the stink of Boston hasn't followed you here. What dish did you bring?
You can probably eat just about anything if you're hungry enough.
Salad?
I don't know, we're not vegan. Mary Shelley, as I live and breathe. Because
Yes, I get it. I brought this loaf of bread, but I forgot the yeast, so it hasn't risen. Because of fun.
yes, yeah, I got that the first time.
Do you just not understand humor?
Jokes are just wasted here. Charlotte Bronte, here is your character card for the evening.
Ugh, she sounds cold. Did you write this? Is this going to take very long?
Looks like I just made a new friend of me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're looking very suave. You can never be overdressed or overeducated.
Please, Agnes.
I hope you have enough wine. It's going to be a long night. Ah, H.G. Wells.
I made it myself with my latest contraption. So put the bread in here, and there are filaments inside that are held by electricity, and they
Fine, wonderful. Just come in.
It's incredibly efficient.
It's not a real knife. Huh. I thought someone knocked.
I did. I knocked.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Emily Dickinson? I stay in my room a lot, but I write poetry, like you though. We're actually a lot alike.
I don't think so, but we may have an extra spot.
You invited me. No, you could be like really pretty if you just like wore a different dress, or maybe did your hair different, or just did something like completely different, like right up here, like right in this area. Here, there, okay?
Ah! Marianne, so glad you could make
Name's
it.
Elliot, George Elliot. Likes beer, sporting, talking about sporting. Dislikes being sitting down, taking to the home, not talking about sporting.
Marianne, I'm not sure I
Seems
understand.
you have me confused with some sort of damsel. I understand I have very soft skin, but the name's George Elliot. It's two male names, very easy to remember. Now, show me to the billiard room. Or a voting booth.
Her mustache is already falling off.
She's a mess. Friends, thank you for being here. We are still waiting on a few others who are definitely my friends, so we will wait to eat until then.
Agatha Christie said she would be running late. Also my dear, dear friend, Annabelle Lee, and her plus one. Also Emily Dickinson. Now, tonight will be quite exciting. You were all given a character card with a name and a brief biography. Please study it, for it is to be your identity for the duration of the evening.
Mine's blank.
Ah, yes, you have found the rare blank character card. Good on you.
Says here my character's a duchess. Since you have absolutely no insight to the mind of a woman, would anybody here be willing to trade cards for a male character?
Please, no trading. Now, first we find out who goes first.
Andrea. I love my character, but I did make a few tweaks. Can I run these by you tomorrow?
No, yes, sure. Now, to figure out who goes first, we must decide based on whose birthday is most recent.
Mine's is in 3 weeks. It's tree themed, so everyone comes as their favorite tree. Mine's is Tilcana Americana.
So, when will someone be murdered?
It's Trey.
Yeah, what do you got?
I have Greek diplomat Hercules Castelopoulos. It says I only speak Greek. I don't know any Greek.
Well, I speak 3 kinds of Greek. Now you're a prominent abolitionist. Slander wins a bottom.
Please, no trading. They're all very good cards.
Sorry, really. We just let ourselves in. Hi, everyone. I'm Annabelle, and this is Eddie. He's a banker.
Hi, Eddie Dantes. Sorry we're for today. My volunteer shift at the old folks home ran over. Then on the way over, we ran across a barbershop quartet. Their bass was out with a sore throat, so I had to fill in. You understand.
He has perfect pitch.
And yet, it's imperfection that make one truly memorable.
What's everyone's problem? I thought I was the dead one here.
Party's not the place for jokes, Lenore. Now, time for everyone's favorite part, the rules. Once everyone's here, the lights will go out, and someone will die. Our first victim is Belladonna Spillingsworth, daughter of railroad magnate Barnabas Spillingsworth.
That's me. She died on the very same railroad that she was named after by her father, the victim of...
Here, before this night goes on any further, I have something to say.
Eddie!
This is marvelous.
This is meant to be the first murder.
As prominent abolitionist Flanders Winterbottom, I hear henceforth abolish slavery.
Hello, Skulligan. I don't think he's breathing.
What, really? No, this isn't part of the game.
The game of life and the game of death have one thing in common. They don't care what you want.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, check out the latest sports.
Say, what sort of skin bomb you use? You have absolutely no Chevy bomb.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eddie! Eddie!
Oh, she really is committed.
Fine. The murder mystery is underway. The first thing we need to do is determine the motive. Who benefit the most from killing Virgil, the foul-smelling orangutan?
Orangutan.
Really? Come on. Virgil? That's a terrible name.
Please, a great example has been committed here this evening.
Yeah, Louisa May's dress.
I only intended to have a night of revelry.
Oh, it was you! You stood the most to gain from Virgil's death.
This isn't the game. And even if it was, you haven't heard my character yet. I'm Western lawman, bounty hunter, Ezekiel Farmer. I have no monetary stake in the death of an orangutan. Also, he's an orangutan. He has no money. Use your head.
All this talking is balderdash and hooey. Someone or other at school was always falling ill, so I taught myself CPR. Got top marks, too. Now, let's see if this old chap has a pulse, shall we?
A murder mystery game that turns into a real murder. Edgar, you've outdone yourself.
Wait, this wisp of a woman is right. He's not breathing.
you vow with real death?
I swear by the completely natural mustache on my face, it's quite different events.
What have you done, Poe?
Edgar?
No. This is supposed to be, Lenore.
A good
A
time.
good time.
What have you got us all into?
Well, there's no use crying over spilled milk. I say we scour the room and find a clue as to who could have murdered Eddie and Emily Dickinson.
I'm right here. Whatever, just leave me out of it.
You phantasm. You are a prime suspect. You have us all thinking that you cannot touch or hold things, and you stand there glued to that martini glass.
Okay, first of all, I have to concentrate like really hard to hold anything. And this stuff is what I go all corporeal for.
All this night is taking a dastardly turn. I mean to go fetch an inspector.
If a crime has indeed been committed by someone, I would prefer if no one leave the scene.
But we must call somebody.
No, Charlotte is right. The murderer may leave, and we would never be the wiser. Also, my house hasn't passed inspection in years, and I do not need that kind of heat right now. You have something to say, Ernest?
If I have something to say, I say it. If I don't, I stop typing.
She stopped. She's better now.
Louisa May Alcott, a spinster through and through, has now reached the pinnacle of transcendentalism. May she be at one with the earth, and may she find her peace.
Well, someone had that ready to go.
I'm just really good at cheese.
Edgar, I'm right. We must alert the police.
Yes, I agree.
Good thing stripes are in, because you're going to jail, son.
I'm not going to jail. None of us are going to jail. All right, one of you is going to jail.
What is this? What's your voice?
Look, oh, great.
Is that
A bell?
Or a bell. Annabelle.
What? That's not mine.
I'd probably say that if it were mine too.
I think we can all agree the most innocent person here is the beautiful and innocent Annabelle Lee, and also she is the most beautiful. Now, can we please start taking this seriously?
I don't know. Seems like this whole innocent thing could be an act.
How could you? I came here tonight with the gentleman I very much cared about, who's now dead, and you accuse me? Besides, when would have Miss Alcott taken my hanky?
Okay then, procure your handkerchief post haste.
I don't have one on me.
Huh. Open and shut case.
Okay, come on, guys. Annabelle would never accessorize in that color with her complexion.
Thank you.
It's true.
I think, I don't know.
Well, who was serving her drink? She was having horrible coughing fits.
Miss Shelley, right before the lights went out, you wrote something quite urgent.
Fine. As you all may know, I initially published my seminal work, Frankenstein, anonymously. What you may not know is why. You see, a couple years ago, my husband and I retreated to Lake Geneva with Lord Byron and his mistress. Your beau, Eddie Dantes, was also in attendance, as he was a friend of the great poet. Lord Byron entreated us to write a ghost story, and this, of course, is where I birthed my monster, who in turn birthed another monster. But perhaps there was yet another monster. You see, Eddie may have made a rogue suggestion here or there, nothing more than a turn of phrase, but he insisted on taking more credit than he was due. I had to publish it anonymously initially, and ever since, he's sworn he would discredit all that I've accomplished.
Okay, so hella motive.
I
I swear I had nothing to do with it. I didn't even know he was coming. And I've never even met Luis May Alcott.
You understand this is quite suspicious.
Or it's pure coincidence.
A coincidence?
Sweetie, if I had ever met that hunk of meat, he wouldn't have been Cinderella's +1 tonight. It would have been the ravishing Charlotte Bronte and her handsome lover, Eduardo Dantes. We would have been the talk of the town.
I'm sorry. What did you say? You said Eduardo.
Well, yes, that was his name, wasn't it?
I don't believe you ever said his full name.
Okay, so?
So if I heard the name Eddie, I wouldn't assume his full name was Eduardo. I'd assume it was Edgar.
No, I'd assume it was Edward.
No, there are plenty of common long names for Eddie. Edwin, Bruce, and Oedipus.
Point is, you are familiar with our deceased victim. Oh, fine. I find this coincidence strange and confusing, possibly incriminating, which is the only reason I resisted initially, but I have nothing to hide. Eddie was a banker who was foreclosing on our family home.
Okay, thanks. So we've officially entered murder mystery mode, and Agatha Christie still isn't here. We're gonna have to take notes. Which one of you is the best writer? You, Ross.
So, did you work us? That wasn't going to happen. My siblings and I are also very talented, but we would surely have come up with the money to make amends and put an end to all this nonsense. Who do you think we are? The Austins.
Yeah, he wasn't so bad. He was my publisher. Though I was afraid he was going to reveal my true identity as a womanizer. A womanizer. You know, like a real lady killer.
So a murderer.
Just saying, like a real Don Juan, like a real care about town. Hey, shame about all those dead people.
You didn't know any.
Lens crafters, what's the consensus?
According to my copious notes, there are multiple possibilities for the suspect of the murder. Who among us was the most likely suspect? Who among us wanted this good man out of the world for good? Who among us had the most to gain from Eddie's death?
Between men and women, there is no friendship. There is love, passion, enmity, worship, but no friendship.
Oscar, come on. I knew I shouldn't have invited you.
Actually, according to my copious notes, I transposed a formula to sort of figure out who is the most likely victim, and I calculated using temperament and motive and location into numerical form, and I figured out a most likely suspect, and according to my calculations, it is Miss Shelley.
Numbers can't see into my heart, and I demand that this issue be looked into by professionals.
I'm Mary. We are adults, and we should alert the authorities.
I beg of you, I wish to get to the bottom of this as well.
I'm not going that way. As we've seen, that way lies a certain death.
Fine. I'm sure we can find another way out of here.
No, I think it unwise to leave.
It's alive! It's something I would say if she were alive. She's not. Someone electrocuted the doorknob.
Sweetheart, You came to this fool's house for a night of quiet entertainment, and he has endangered you. Friends, something afoot. I suggest we scour the house for food. I suggest we split up.
Wait. Split up.
Yes, pair off.
That's a terrible idea. Whoever is paired with the murderer will be in grave danger.
Are you really suggesting one of us is a murderer?
Yes, who else could it be?
You.
Oh.
Perhaps it would be the best idea to start at the top of the house and then work our way down.
I can take you to the attic. It's my jam.
Well, I'm not walking around this place with someone who might actually murder me. Mr. Elliot.
Yes, do not be afraid. I brought the Duke of Coventry and Humpy Cattle for your protection.
Yes, that's what I missed.
I just don't see why we can't wait until Miss Christie arrives.
Sweetie, I'm not waiting around for Agatha while the rest of us keep dying off.
Edgar, what can I do to help?
Annabelle and I will explore the bedrooms. Perhaps the murderer left a hair.
Or perhaps he lives there. She's not going alone, though. I'm coming along. Besides, there's autumn above us. There has to be a group of people.
Don't smoke. And don't litter. This is an IOU for Eduardo Dantes.
Okay. I owe the man for a sport bag. Nothing more. He gave me extra time to pay up. I was this close to extinguish my debt. I'm a man of my word.
Oh, I believe that.
Please don't tell the others.
That you're a liar, a drunk, and a deadbeat? Annabelle was right. I'm going to explore the other bedrooms.
You never leave me.
I thought we were supposed to be looking for clues. No. That's a waste of time. I'm catching clues that haven't been dropped yet. I don't follow. I'm creating a rudimentary image capturing device. I shall call it a chimera. With a lens and some simple chemical processing, I shall make these chimeras and then I'll create some sort of motion sensor system. That way, if someone moves in front of it, it will trip, revealing the killer.
I mean this in the nicest way possible, but that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Well, it's not the first time I've heard that. In fact, that Eddie Bullock laughed at my last invention, and now time machines are the talk of the science fiction town.
Whoa. You knew Dead Eddie too?
There's no point in denying it, I guess. Eddie was a banker, and I was going to him for a loan to build my model time machine. It would be used for marketing books and maybe... I don't actually believe in any of that kind of thing. I do believe in it. But I didn't think that would matter. After all, I didn't kill him. And besides, what's the point in inviting into suspicion when that just takes time from, catching the real killer?
So, who do you think did it?
You don't think I did it?
Well, I'm an excellent judge of characters, so...
I've been thinking about Alcott's symptoms. I don't think she was poisoned in the living room.
How do you know?
She showed signs of potassium cyanide poisoning. It's far too fast acting. Her coughing fit earlier may have been unrelated.
Oh, I thought it was because she wore that dress.
A joke. Yes, it was hideous. What's next? I'm all out of wire.
I'll go get some.
Thank you.
I don't know why you think we find clues in the Ravenry. I'm all covered in bird poo. Not that I care about clothes, though.
This is my most faultless shirt, and I must attend to it immediately in the bathroom. Luckily, I always keep a change of clothes with me on hand. You never know where you might end up in the morning.
Yeah, I could stand to use the little boy's room myself. Wash out some of this bird mess.
You need this more than I do. Oh, no, please, ladies first.
Sure don't know what you mean, but thank you. It's very kind of you.
That must be the great Miss Agatha Christie.
Finally.
I think Marianne is hurt.
What's happening? Oh no! I have something important to say. Yes, dear, what is it? You may not believe it. But I, George Eliot, am a woman.
I did it! You did? Yes. I brought knives for everyone, for protection.
We'll also be giving the murderer a knife.
All right, I think the murderer is doing just fine.
You disappear while George is murdered, then reappear with instruments of death.
Yes, I was in the kitchen where the knives live.
She was stabbed. Just now. I opened the door and...
That's it. I'm through with this.
Airmouth, please stay put.
It's Emily. I'm standing up for myself.
It's not right you let her wander off alone. I'm gonna go accompany her.
But then you'll be alone.
Not if one of us go with her.
I'll go with you.
You know, I should probably mind my own business, but it's so boring compared to other people's.
No.
Wait in here. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Dear.
Hello? Yes? I'm at a dinner party and there's a murder on the loose. And I think it's you!
She's dead.
Strangled by loneliness.
Emily Dickinson.
Is that a cat?
She was just in the room with us.
Is this it?
Oh, Emily!
Oh, no, that's a different Emily.
Quick, we need to look around the room for clues. A weapon, anything.
I'm taking a page out of your book, Ernie. Careful, you won't have any pages left.
All let me study. Anything else you can kill Miss Dickinson?
Who have the motive to kill her?
I suppose I had motive. Seeing as I didn't want the police to visit. Don't know why more bodies should fix that. I already have a ghost infestation as it is. Yes, right. No joking around.
What up, Grim Reaper? You'd die of loneliness without me anyway.
Oscar, what is it you just said about loneliness?
Oh, guys, I just said that Emily was strangled by loneliness.
That actually is quite amusing.
Emily was strangled, as if by loneliness. George Eliot was killed by a portrait, but of who?
A portrait of young Arthur as a young man, if I do say so myself. However, that painting is all wrong. My nose, my face, my back, it's all off.
The portrait was of Oscar?
Edgar?
It's not mine.
Sure.
Listen, we are being dispatched in ways that are relevant to our artistic output. Think about it. Miss Alcott with the scarlet fever, Miss Agatha Christie stabbed, Miss Shelley with the electricity.
Yeah, and George Eliot was killed by a portrait of Oscar Wilde, like that famous poem she wrote.
I think the murderer meant to kill Oscar, but somehow things got mixed up.
I was being a gentleman by letting her go first. She was covered in birdie bits.
Now, let's not jump to conclusions here. It is possible that Oscar was the killer, but it's also possible that he was the intended victim.
And the killer messed up.
Either way, Oscar must be protected and isolated.
He's standing here, silently and staring. Sounds like another Friday night at Edgar Allan Poe's house.
I would be much better use if I could continue my walk around the house. I guarantee you, I am working on a system that will help us catch whoever's doing this.
Is he?
Well, there are a lot of wires, so I'd say that's promising.
But what if he's the killer?
Then I'll just go with him again.
But what if he murders you?
I am already dead.
Fine. Lenore, HG, H, whatever. Just go.
I just can't stand here all night, okay?
You sound like you're itching to murder more people.
Are we expecting anyone else?
Let's just leave it.
Agreed. Pretend we're not home.
But all the lights are on.
Stay here. I'll take care of this.
You guys, we're doing a hell of a good job staying in one place together.
You guys are my favorite ones anyway.
Sure.
This is almost finished.
I'm sorry, but I don't follow. How are we going to be behind everything all at once?
My dear Lenore, you've hit on the final piece of the puzzle. I've brought you here to construct our last invention. I shall call it an electronic video host signal interpretation terminal. Official, of course.
Of course.
Well, great. Poe is probably dead now, too. Don't say such a thing.
Miss Lady, tonight is a test. The war breaks everyone. But afterwards, some are stronger in the broken places.
Yes, life is hard. Thank you, we never would have known.
At least I can confront it like a man.
By punctuating every statement you make with a swig of alcohol.
I don't hide behind witticism and bon mots. I say it like it is.
Where are you getting those drinks?
I know how to box!
Yes, I'm sure your boxing matches are as short as your stories.
Often, when we are struggling with writer's block, we find we are actually struggling with each other.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Yes, this is like a very intense exercise, and I just wanted to say that you all are doing good work on yourselves, and that's what's important.
Yes, please. These are officers Jim and Jimmy from the local police. They are investigating the disappearance of an Agatha Christie, but I assured them that we, of course, had no knowledge of her whereabouts because we are merely a group of writers having a writers' conference about food metaphors.
Have I seen you somewhere before, sir?
Probably. I'm very famous.
And sir, where were you last Thursday night?
I was hosting friends. Aboard my skiff, off to the coast of Cuba. We drank rum and smoked cigars. I wrestled one of them.
Sounds like a ton of fun.
It wasn't. Life is suffering.
So none of you have seen Mrs. Agatha Christie. She was invited to this writers' conference.
We've been in here all night.
Yeah, just us in this room.
Well, that checks out then.
Sorry I didn't.
No trouble.
Well, that was thrillingly close.
A hot blood excitement can be good for you sometimes.
Speaking of which, where was our invite to your boat party?
Perhaps next time, Chuck. Miss Lee, can't you join us to my next foray in the Havana? We drink rum as the sun rises and habanera at its set.
You can dance.
Madame, I am an expert of the contradanza.
Okay.
This I gotta see.
Let's move together. No more crossings. Where are we? Argentina. Come on.
Often, food metaphors. Are we hungry for food or for each other?
You know, I am just so impressed with your dedication to your craft.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. We just wanted to get a time of when everyone had arrived here.
Well, I arrived a little bit past 6. Never be too available, you know.
At 6:15, fashionably late.
Time is a construct. Undo every shackle, unseat every oppressor, and time will be there still, laughing at us till the bitter end. I was here at 6:25.
I was the last one here. 6:45, and just me and no one else.
I live here. I've been here all day. Look, if we're being honest, I don't remember leaving the house in the last month. Last month. Write that down.
Well, don't mind us then.
Sorry again.
Ciao. Good evening.
So kind. Never be too available. Might as well etch that into your tombstone.
Before you start harping on my lack of vulnerability, know that I learned that from an enclave of vast mountain that I came with in the forest of Paradise.
So then you are available.
To the right owner. Those fellows have let the isolation get to them, I think. Had a strange way of invigorating the mind. In order to increase brain activities, they often meditate upside down.
Did it work? Did it make them smarter?
Well.
I'm crying out loud. I don't even know.
Okay, the fighting and the dancing I get, but the upside down meditating? Well, I don't see how this has anything to do with food metaphors.
We're gonna need some serious answers here. Here. Come here.
Oh, I can't get out of this chair.
Okay, I'll come to you.
Were you at the Vivian Nightingale Memorial Ball last year?
Oh, sounds like a place I'd be.
Do you know an Eddie Dante?
Who now?
Eddie Dante's! That's where I remember you from. You both were in attendance at the Vivian Nightingale Memorial Ball last year.
Oh no, I must have been out of the country.
Edgar! Why don't you offer our guests some of your delicious wine?
Oh, what a lovely idea, Miss Bronte. Edgar, I'll help you.
Well, I did want to have a look around. Do you mind?
Oh, no, sure, please. Let's just leave this room. Come on.
Alright, that should be it. I want you to copy yours. Now, when I told the Torres-Aldana that the current infrared triangulation will activate, and whatever you see on there, it will appear on here. So there's just kind of one filter. Yes, say, you can walk through walls, correct? Yes. Would you want to take that out to one minute for me? Of course. Thank you. Okay. One final twist should do it. Done and done. HG. HG! It's too late. The smoke. I can't. What's your real name? It's Howard. George. It's a terrible name.
There you have it, gentlemen, in our humble abode.
So, you two are in Ireland?
Oh, yes, I have, Edgar.
Yes, we're very happy together.
Never would have guessed. No chemistry at all.
Nope.
Yes, well, thank you for coming. It was wonderful to have you here.
Help! HG is totally alive! Like, here, and alive, and like, not dead. That is so weird that you would bring that up.
This is my ghost servant, Lenore. Lenore, these are officers Jim and Jimmy from the local police. They're just about to leave.
I've never met a real ghost before. How do you do?
Who died this time?
Oh, I can't do this anymore. Constables were trapped in this mansion and someone's killing us off one by one. First there's my dear Eduardo Dantes, and then Lisa May Alcott.
Then Shelley, George Eliot, H.G. Wells,
And then, Ralph Waldo Emerson?
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yes.
Emily Dickinson. They were all murdered, and one of us is the killer. Edgar brilliantly realized that the authors are being murdered in a way that befits their writing.
This is some serious information you've been hiding.
Yes. Even in cases of self-defense, murder is still punishable by death. That's why I always say, write this down. Don't do murder.
Fine! Take us all away, officers. I always knew I would spend my final days in a dark cell with naught but the crow of a raven's call. Nevermore.
So, what's the plan, officers? Well, first, we have some drinks to finish.
Is that really what we should be? Yep, they're doing it anyway.
All around me, what has my afterlife become?
Funnily enough, the first thing I learned in Constable Academy was what to do in case your dinner party turns into a mass homicide. And the first rule is don't drink anything.
Can't say I didn't see that coming.
Oh, Edgar, this is terrible.
Well, we cannot leave any dead bodies around. To the vault, boys.
No, excuse me, we are all going to the vault? I'm not going to stay here with a crying cupcake and Morticia Adams.
Wait, just a second. What was all this about party?
Eddie and I met at a party for one night. That's all.
That's definitely not all.
Your boy and I were a thing for one night. He rebuffed me in the end. I never knew why.
Well, he was very European. Hell hath no fury like an Oscar Wilde scorned.
Well, fine. Why would I kill the others?
I don't know. But perhaps you had help in the form of Ernest Hemingway. You were in bed with Eduardo in quite a different way. You owed him for a sports bet gone wrong.
But I thought you were good at the sports.
I am good at the sport.
Yeah, what's your sports record?
Undefeated. Never lost a game. A match or even a staring contest.
That's odd. They printed the American Boxing League standings, and you're listed with 1 loss.
But how can you have an undefeated sports record with 1 loss?
To have my honor called into question by a beautiful lady. That confounded match, I confess. I threw the match at Eddie's request.
A lie on another lie.
A lie sandwich. I've got to start using these food metaphors more often.
My pride couldn't take the blow. But I refused to give him his dirty money. But I would never murder the man, right?
You were also unaccounted for during the murders of Agatha Christie and George Eliot.
Let me ask you something. Let me be quite frank. You held this party. You are the reason why we are here. Perhaps the reason has been under our nose the whole time. Edgar Allan Poe, a writer of Gothic prose and cold-blood killer.
It does make sense. Angry that you were never able to get the girl.
Stop! Edgar can't do any of this. He's a good man.
Besides, I didn't make the invite list. That was Lenore. I have no real friends. That sad fact is finally coming in handy.
Really? You're gonna put this all on me?
Awfully coincidental that the smoke in the attic didn't kill you too.
That's because I'm already dead!
You can face through walls. We don't know the extent of your ghostly powers.
Lenore, the one most familiar with death, invites us all to our own. How did we not see it before?
Are you guys seriously listening to yourselves? A ghost on a murderous rampage? Y'all sound cray.
Sounds like another Edgar Allan Poe story. Perhaps you were in on it together with the Raven fetishist.
I don't need to act things out in order to write them. I have what we call an imagination. Have you ever heard of that? Oh, no. Please, tell us more about the old man and the boat. So then, who made the invite list?
Oh! You know, what a great question. Actually, I didn't even make it. Annabelle sent it to me. But you know, like,
Well, that makes sense because Annabelle knows everyone. She is beautiful and kind with the voice of the Malabar whistling thrush.
She's a siren, luring us to our death.
I loved you.
You invited us all here. You were gone when George and Agatha were murdered, and you somehow pretend you didn't know all of this about your boyfriend.
Okay, whoa, how dare you? He was not her boyfriend. Annabelle. Keep your eyes open. It's gonna be okay.
Edgar,
Who did this?
it was always you.
Annabelle Lee is dead.
Annabelle wasn't a writer. The obvious killer is the one who invited us to the godforsaken mansion in the boondocks. Edgar Allan Poe, confess or be damned.
Whoa, I think you're seriously underestimating how much my roomie loved that girl.
You can walk through walls. I see no other explanation. You straight up murdered these biddies with your magic beams. You were jealous of the life that Annabelle had, and you wanted her and all of her friends dead.
Wait, harsh, wild.
I still think it was Annabelle.
What?
Think about it. She was the one who invited us all here. She was gone when George and Agatha were murdered. And maybe you were even in on it, Ernest. Poor girl couldn't handle what she'd done. So she killed herself. I mean, I doubt she could have dropped that portrait on George Eliot all by herself. I mean, goodness, that Marianne. All of us ladies have used male pen names to get published, but she went over the top. She doesn't have the face for a mustache.
Exactly.
You use male pen names?
Yes. I'm sorry, I just said that.
And your sisters too?
Of course. It's ridiculously hard to get published with names like Charlotte, Emily, and Anne. People think you're all fluff and bunnies.
Yes.
What was your pen name?
Curabelle. Androgynous, no? I quite liked it. I'd certainly allow a Curabelle to escort me to the Vivian Nightingale Memorial Ball, if you know what I mean.
And your sisters' pen names?
Anne was Acton Bell, and Emily was Ellis. I remember she thought it was silly, but I insisted it was terribly professional.
It was. Yeah.
Acton Bell. A. Bell. This handkerchief belongs to your family. It's yours.
You crazy, contemptuous cow! You murdered my best friend. My acquaintances. Let's call them acquaintances, shall we?
What the actual heck is wrong with you?
I'm going to the police. Wait. Why? This woman is an admitted murderer.
She didn't do it alone.
Yeah, there is no way that she could have done this all by herself.
I just said that.
Maybe if you would listen to me. No, you listen to me, honestly.
Stop your bickering, you two. You're just as pathetic as the characters you create. But I do thank you for helping me fulfill my dream of creating the perfect Gothic novel in real life.
Ew, that's why you did this? To create some literary fantasy?
No. I did it for family.
Gentlemen, ghosts, let me introduce myself. I'm Anne Bronte. So sorry I'm late for dinner. Some of you may remember me from such novels as The Tenant of Wilfell Hall.
No.
Or from killing some of your friends tonight.
Woman.
You have a gun?
Have you had that the whole time?
Where?
It was a present from my lover, Anton Chekhov.
What? I've been seeing Anton.
Me too!
Wait, this doesn't make sense. Emily was with Charlotte while Elliot was being murdered.
But then who murdered Agatha Christie? That happened at the same time.
No. It can't be.
Oh, but it can.
Oh my God.
Congratulations, Mr. Poe. You figured it
You!
out.
You murdered Annabelle Lee! You're mad.
You fancy me mad? Madmen know nothing. But you should have seen how wisely I proceeded. With what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work!
Get to the point.
Oh, Mr. Hemingway, you do so value brevity. Would that your life end up longer than yours? fictions. You may not know me, but I, unfortunately, know you, Lenore.
Explain.
You just had to go and marry my brother. Luckily enough, you got sick and died. But then my fool of a brother killed himself to follow you. And I've hated you ever since.
Hated me? You didn't even show up to the wedding.
Oh, poor Lenore. Looks like you almost found someone new in HG. You two were getting along quite well. Until I killed him.
Are you just killing people you think I care about? Because you're seriously overestimating how much I care about people.
Oh, no, my dear. I had far greater aspirations for tonight. Perhaps you've heard of my great-grandfather, Edward Dante, 17th Earl of Oxford?
No. You mean that Elizabethan hack, right?
Some say he had a hand in writing Shakespeare.
Or that he was Shakespeare.
Shakespeare was a liar and a thief, just like every writer! We're not thieves. You're delusional.
Oh, Poe. Earlier, when I was talking about being mad, you wrote that down.
What? No, I didn't.
You did. You're going to use it later in another tale of woe.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, this whole plan is ridiculous. There's countless other ways you can have exact this revenge for some made-up conspiracy.
But what better revenge for my ancestor than to gather a group of the world's most famous authors and murder them, just like he should have done that for William Shakespeare.
Yeah, but why us? None of us stole your grandpa's dumb plays.
No, I had other reasons. I could eliminate Mary Shelley and take undue credit for Frankenstein. I could send a message via Mr. Hemingway that my debts were paid. I could dismiss Emily Dickinson and her constant brain. Christ, does that woman never stop talking? And finally, Mr. Wilde, it would not do for rumors of our drunken dalliance to spread.
You were drunk?
Quite. But I was stone cold sober when I began courting Annabelle Lee, knowing of her connection to Lenore and the power of persuasion she could have over Mr. Poe. I manipulated her into bringing all these victims here. But I knew I would need help.
It's quite a simple story, really. Some time ago, our brother Branwell began courting a married woman. Somehow that two-bit hussy Jane Austen found out about it.
We murdered Jane Austen with great pride and extreme prejudice. Eddie promised to not foreclose on the Bronte house and help cover up the murder if we helped execute his plan tonight.
I'm not very keen on killing people, but our house has such a lovely wraparound porch. And also, I don't want to go to jail.
The jail you shall avoid, my dear. After arriving late, I faked my own death as Anne turned out the lights. She then waited behind the door as Louisa May Alcott, expertly spurred into action by Charlotte, ran to the door where she stuck her with a needle of potassium cyanide. Once again, acting on Charlotte's ever so subtle orders, Mary Shelley ran to the door. Anne electrocuted the doorknob, killing Miss Shelley and paving the way for my own literary celebrity. Then, brilliantly, you all made the decision to split up.
I awaited Oscar in the bathroom and accidentally killed George Eliot. They look the same from behind.
We have the same trainer. We do a lot of squats.
I knew Agatha Christie would see straight through this flimsy caper, so I met her at the door when she arrived, 10 times, with a knife.
I love Chicago.
She hadn't counted on the police showing up.
Edna had to go. She was suspicious when she went for the phone. And of course, H.G. Wells was working on something that would have caught us in the act. I ensured he wouldn't finish it. And Annabelle. Sweet Annabelle. I poisoned her before this entire night even began. I knew she wouldn't be very happy once all her friends were off.
I've never used a gun before!
You killed Jane Austen with an axe!
With an axe.
There you go. I prefer sharp objects, no recoil.
Guys, I'm already dead.
In hindsight, I really should have just used the gun.
If only you guys had a little bit more sense and/or sensibility.
Perhaps the judge will go easy on you with a little persuasion.
I can't believe you murdered all of my.
The word you're looking for is friends.
Aww.